Visual Lounge is about to begin live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, wherever you're watching from or listening from. We're so glad that you're here with us on the Visual Lounge. We have a very special episode today, and I say that probably every time, but we're going to be talking about something that not only do you get to learn about, but you get to participate in. And I'm going to get to that in just a second, so no spoilers. But if you go through this episode, there's something you learn, something you like. In fact, we're just going to encourage you to share the news that we're about to break and share with you. We'd love to have you do that. Tag us on any of your social media accounts. Or if you got questions, suggestions for the show, you can always email us at thevisuallounge@techsmith.com. Now, let me introduce today's guest. You've actually seen him in a previous episode. His name is Ryan Bort. Ryan is he's part of the marketing team here at TechSmith. He's someone that I love working with. He's just so knowledgeable and got so many great ideas, and he's bringing in something that I think is really exciting. So let me introduce Ryan Bort to the Visual Lounge. Hey, Ryan, how's it going?
Good, Matt. Thanks for that introduction. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for being here. All of a sudden, things have changed, though, here around the Visual Lounge. It looks completely different.
It does. It looks nice. Looks old, but also new.
So Ryan, I just obviously hyped up that we're announcing something. And so should we just hold on a little bit longer and build suspense? Or should we just dive into it?
I think we can just dive in. Matt, as you've set up this wonderful level up background here, we are going to be holding what we're calling a digital event. We're calling it Level Up. And it's going to be this 4-hour long digital event that we're going to be running a couple of times on October 5th. The event itself is just to help everybody level up their office communication with images and videos. We're going to be talking about when you can be using images and videos, why you should be using images and videos. And then, of course, if you're going to be coming to an event like this and investing this kind of time with us, we want you to walk away knowing how you can be using images and videos. So we're going to cover all of those things. We've got a bunch of great experts that are coming to speak. And what makes this different than other kinds of webinars and stuff is, as Matt mentioned, it's interactive. We're going to have some opportunities for you to participate, talk to us, ask us questions, share some of your knowledge. So yeah, it's going to be a fun event, and we're really excited for it.
Yeah, I am so excited, and I love our theme, this Level Up, because it's something here. Anyone that's listened to the show, I usually close with telling people to level up, so it's right hitting home in a sweet spot. But Ryan, I want to talk about this. Let's talk about the focus of this event, because I think I want to make sure people understand going in what to really expect, because we have lots of offerings for people to learn how to do things. We've got our webinar series with our customer education team. We've got lots of tutorials. We've got the Visual Lounge. We've got all these things. So from a high level, if I was interested in this event and I go to it, what kind of things would I expect to be learning about? And you mentioned kind of office communication, but can we define that a little bit maybe?
Yeah, so, office communication is definitely evolving, right? Especially with the pandemic. We've got people who are working remote. We've got office teams that are still maybe in your traditional sense, everybody in the office. There's people who are hybrid. Maybe they're in the office a few days a week. And then there's teams that are hybrid. They've got people in the office, out of the office. And so how we communicate is going to really determine the success of these different office setups. And so this event, we're really looking at how we can help you be more successful with that communication. Of course, we've always relied on email. We've always relied on meetings, and those aren't going anywhere. You're going to keep having meetings. You're going to keep sending emails, but we want to give you extra tools to really help you with these new team setups that we're experiencing and how you can be more efficient and communicate more clearly. Because, after your 10th email before 9 a.m., you're looking for a different way to get information. And so that's kind of the stuff we're going to dive into.
Yeah. And so I love this because I think, and I see this in my own communication style that's as it's evolved over my time at TechSmith, is that there's so much great information, but sometimes my old habits have been to write a really long email. But I love that the idea of using visuals and video. And I know we talked to Sherry Powers on this show about the way she uses video in particular with our team to help communicate and I'm really excited. Ryan, as you mentioned, we've got some really great presenters. Should we go through some of who the presenters are and what they'll be talking about? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just gonna bring these up if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we got music, even theme music.
This is our first, our keynote speaker, right? And we're really excited. Wendy, the CEO here at TechSmith, is going to be giving her, a quick presentation to really set up the entire event. This is how we're going to kick off the event. TechSmith has been doing visual communication for 30 years, for more than 30 years. And so we've got a lot of expertise about that, but that doesn't mean as times change, what we know and how we communicate doesn't change. So Wendy's going to talk a lot about, effective communication with a hybrid workforce and then things we've learned over the past year. Because even though we've been using visual communication for as long as this company's existed, we're still getting better every day. We're still leveling up every day. So that's an exciting one.
If I can get in here and just say, I love this topic because it's from a perspective, a lot of us are we're kind of in the trenches workers, right? Like, so Wendy's going to bring that high level. So this is not just like, oh, I'm doing my day job, but like, this is something for executives and C-suite as well. But her message will obviously apply to everybody. So that's super exciting.
Yeah. And that's actually a really cool point about how we've set up this event. We want you to level up through the event, but we're also going to level up throughout the event. So we're going to start big picture, right? And then we're going to go into some basics. And then as the day goes on, we'll talk about this in a minute, but then Matt, you're going to have a great presentation where we're actually going to have the audience help us. And we're going to really test what they've learned. So we're going to really move you pretty quickly at this event.
Okay, so we've got Wendy, and then after Wendy, we've got 5 broken communications and how to fix them. That's an interesting topic.
Yeah, and it's a presentation where we look at, Matt, like you said, some of the things we know are broken, but we still fall back to. We look at things like those giant emails. Is that really the best way to communicate that information? Is that the most effective way? I know if I see a wall of information like that, I'll probably skim it and save it for when I need it again, but I'm not retaining it very well, right? And it's hard to remember everything that email says and respond to if that's necessary. So we'll talk about things like that. We'll talk about things like meetings. Is it appropriate to have a meeting? I'm not saying don't have meetings. There are times when it's appropriate, but there are some times when the meeting is really just one person speaking to a group of people. So how can we rethink how we use those? Daniel Foster is a strategy lead for the Snagit team. He's super involved in all this. He's given presentations on things like this in the past. And Alison Boatman, she's another member of our marketing team, and she's gonna, take the theory that Daniel shares with everybody and show you how you can apply that every day. What I love about this is Alison is not a video creator of ours. She is not on our customer education team. She is, just like the attendees, a marketer. Her day job has nothing to do specifically with creating images and videos, and yet she's going to show you how easy it is because it's something she does to make her life easier.
Yeah, I love that practical application that we're, because it is so easy. And I'm just going to switch back here for a second. It is so easy to get caught up that, I've been making and doing visual communication videos for 15 years plus, right? And Ryan, I know you've done stuff for a long time. It's so easy to think, oh, well, obviously TechSmith can do this. But the reality is, no, this is for everybody. Even if you're not the main media creator on an instructional design team or a customer education team, you can be in any role and these can have impact.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I'll touch on too that I love about this, and I think one of the key takeaways I want people to come away with this event is that they can do it and that it doesn't have to be perfect. Matt, I know you've talked about that a ton on this Visual Lounge, but I've sent emails without reading over it to find every grammatical and spelling error, right? We're okay with those informal emails. Alison's going to show you how to make some informal videos that you don't need to spend a ton of time on.
But don't worry, if you have a typo in a presentation, someone will tell you.
They will definitely let you know.
All right, well, let's look at the next one here. Oh, 9 types of videos you can make today. We know this guy, Andy Owen.
Yes, definitely from the Level Up family. He does the podcast with you, Matt. And Andy is a video creator by trade, right? But we've really asked him for this presentation to show everybody how to do videos that they don't need a studio for, right? We know that most of our users are at home with maybe a webcam, but probably just like a built-in webcam, maybe an external microphone, probably just a built-in, right? They probably don't have a green screen, and that's all okay. That is still what you need to create good communication, right? We're not making marketing videos here. We're making great office communications, and that doesn't require a ton of setup. There's 9 types of videos you can make today with your current setup.
Yeah, and I love the re-emphasis because I don't think we can say it enough. We're not talking about video production at the high level here, or any communication that that deep. We're gonna send a mass email to all of our customers. We're talking interpersonal, kind of one-to-one, one to a group or team, or maybe one to your company as well. But we're not. It's different when it's internal versus external. And I think I want to be careful because I know sometimes it's easy to think, oh, it doesn't have to be good. There's times and places, right? You have to understand, we've talked about this all the time on the show, times and places to do certain things. Know your audience, know what they need, know what they're expecting. But in many times we don't have to it doesn't have to be the highest quality, best output. It's like, is the message good? Is the information correct? Right? That's important.
Yep. And also, Matt, what I love about this title of this event and everything you do on your on these YouTube videos is that it's about leveling up, right? So we may teach you in this event how to make those one-off videos, those videos to 5, 10, 15 people. But as you get in there and you get comfortable making with them, you might find yourself stretching yourself and going, you know what, I can do this for an external audience, Even after the event, you can keep getting better and you can find yourself eventually making those nice polished videos pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Always room to get better. So we've got one more presentation that we've got the slide ready for here in just a second. But Ryan, I think we haven't said, if someone's at this point saying, hey, this sounds really great, I'm in, where can they go find more information and sign up?
Yeah, absolutely. So techsmith.com/levelup. We tried to make it super easy for you. Techsmith.com/levelup. If you go there, you can see the agenda. You can see the multiple times that we'll be holding this. The date, of course, will be there. There'll be a quick description. So if you're ever unclear about anything, you could certainly go there, and there should be plenty of information to clue you in and to what to expect at the event.
Fantastic. So again, and that's level up, no hyphens, no space, just techsmith.com/levelup. Okay.
Level up, one word.
Last presentation slide here. We'll get Andy off the screen. Oh, hey, look at that. I know him. That's me.
Yep.
So you could describe, I want to hear how you're going to describe this, Ryan, because I'm the one that has to give it. So I got to live up to your expectations.
Yeah. So this one I'm actually most excited about. It is the last presentation of the day. And it's something Matt and I and our coworker Anton have actually been working on for not just this event, but for other presentations as well, that we want to start pitching. And that's using the right video for the right task. And what we want to do here is do a quick overview, right? Like Matt, you just discussed it a second ago, but how to make a quick video that maybe you're going to send to one person. Then we'll also show you how to make a little bit better video that you're going to send to like 20 people. And then we'll show you again at the end how to do like maybe that company-wide video. But the cool thing here is that, as I promised earlier, is we're going to try to involve you as much as possible. At this point, you should have quite a few tools in your tool belt on why decisions should be made. And we're going to ask you, hey, we're at this stop. I've got choice A, choice B. What should we do? And we're going to let the audience kind of drive the creation, so you can see that it's not something we pre-canned and cooking showed in front of you. It's something we're building in real time with you. So I'm really excited about that one.
So what I'm hearing is no pressure to get this right. Make good choices, folks. Make good choices. Make my life easy. I love it. No, I'm super excited because I think the thing that I'm with an event like this, I'm most excited about is it's so easy as we go through kind of the day-to-day, and here on the Visual Lounge, we talk about a lot of big concepts. We're continually talking. We just in a recent episode we talked to Josh Cavalier about video workflow, and that's a big idea, right? And there's things, but it's hard to go and say like I'm going to do this right now. It's like, no, I'm okay. I got some questions I'm going to ask, some things I'm going to implement long term. But so I love the event that in 4 hours we can actually go much deeper. We can cover a lot of ground and really help people walk away with something that's a bit more than, and they're different purposes, but kind of more practical knowledge, right?
Yeah. And, internally, as we've been developing this, a lot of the question has been, what makes this a digital event and not a webinar, right? And part of my response has always been, we're going to try to make it interactive. We're going to involve the audience. We're going to let them help us create the videos at certain points. We're going to kind of tap into their knowledge a little bit. But I think another big piece is that how, right? We're going to talk about the when, the why, and the how. And people are going to want to hang out with us for 4 hours because when they're done, when this event is over, they're going to feel comfortable to hopefully immediately make their first video, right? But the other side of that too is as I've been doing these kinds of things, I have had communications with, people who have our products and they know the how, but they don't know the why or the when, right? So I can make videos all day, but when would I make a video for my team? When would I make a video instead of sending an email? So we're going to cover all those things. And really the goal here is to empower our attendees to feel confident in when they're using videos, how they're using videos, and why they're using videos.
Yeah. My thing wouldn't switch. I was trying to get it to switch. It was like, it wasn't working. Anyway, so Ryan, let's reiterate a couple things. So when is the event again?
October 5th. And it is going to be, we've set times actually. So if you're in England and you're like, oh, they've set a East Coast time and a West Coast time, that's not true. We did one with you in mind. So the team and I were going to get up bright and early. Eastern time, our first one is at like 6 a.m. So if you're out in Europe and you're like, oh, I'd love to attend, check out the times, go to techsmith.com/levelup. I believe that puts it in, early morning for you as well, or mid to late morning for you. So definitely check us out if you're out in Europe. And then the second time, obviously, for those people out in the West Coast, we're going to have a much more, North America centric time for everyone.
Now, let me ask you this question, Ryan. So if this sounds great, life is busy though, work is busy, 4 hours, that's a big commitment for someone.
It is.
I can't commit to all 4 hours. Can I jump in? Can I jump out? Is it recorded? Because I know people always love to know if it's going to be recorded.
Yep. We get that question for everything we do. So I would tell you a couple things. One is definitely go ahead and register. And even if you pop in and out, the same link is going to work. If you show up and then you have to leave for some reason, that link will still work. You can come back and join us again. So you can pop in and out. I recommend everybody stay the whole time, but we, of course, understand that that's not always possible. And then, yes, we're going to record this. We're going to break it down. As long as you register, you will get a follow-up communication from us. And that communication will have a link to all the recordings, but also some extra resources that we think you might find helpful. So if we talk about something in a presentation or have a tool we recommend or anything like that, that will be included in that follow-up communication. So it'll be valuable both for people who didn't see it and people who did.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I get it. 4 hours is a long time, it's a big commitment, but we hope I think it'll be well worth it because, I mean, the benefit of being there live is, I'm guessing they can ask some questions, they can put stuff in to communicate with people who are, giving presentations or there to help out with the presentations.
Yeah, we'll have Q&A at the end of every presentation, right? So people can talk with us and we can try to answer some of those questions live. There will be breaks. So, if you need to get coffee or if you need to use that time to answer emails or whatever that might be, there's definitely going to be breaks. And one of the things we haven't talked about, but another former guest of this podcast is David Patton. He's going to be the host. We chose him specifically because he's high energy. So he is going to be bringing his personality to the table, and he'll be there with you all day, keeping you engaged, engaging with you, doing the Q&A and handling all of that kind of stuff.
I feel like for those who have not seen the episodes with Dave Patton, he is You think I'm energetic? Dave brings it. He's got just so much great skill and ability to help keep things moving and feel very cohesive. So we're excited for that. I mean, what a great opportunity, Ryan. And before we wrap things up, we've talked a lot about the event. Again, October 5th, techsmith.com/levelup is where you could go to sign up. You can go get more information. I'm curious for you. You've been at TechSmith a couple of years now. You worked as a marketer before that. I know you've worked as a journalist. From your time that you've worked at TechSmith, how has your visual communication, like what have you learned about visual communication that's just kind of changed the way that you do work because of the access to the tools, kind of the understanding that you've been able to gain over the last couple of years?
Yeah, prior to working at TechSmith, I definitely used Snagit quite a bit in other marketing positions and stuff. Didn't really use Camtasia that much. Now, if you were to say, okay, we're dropping you at another company, another marketing position, what tools do you need? Snagit and Camtasia. I need them because of the screen recording and video and ease of use abilities, all the things we talk about. But the thing that I think that has helped me the most is, Matt, something we talked about earlier, and that's just going for it, getting comfortable on camera, making the video, not being afraid of mistakes, right? So things that I used to fixate on were, I'd say too much. I probably have said a bunch today. I would fixate on how my voice sounded. Matt, I know you've done a ton of talks about this. What you all hear is not what I hear, and it drives me insane. But I've made a ton of videos now for office communications, and now I understand what I'm hearing, and I understand that isn't really that big of a deal unless you're saying it every other word. And so I just have gotten more comfortable. And as I've gotten more comfortable, I've been able to do it more and more and easier and quicker and quicker. So I'd say that's the biggest learning, is making those imperfect videos so that you can get better at videos.
I love it. It's the 1% principle, right? Just keep getting 1% better every single time. Well, Ryan, this has been awesome. Now, we're not quite done because we have one more thing to show.
Okay.
We have a trailer that goes over the video. Should we show that now?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, here we go.
The way we communicate in the workplace is evolving. If you're not using videos and images, your coworkers may be confused or left behind. Join us for Level Up, a free 4-hour digital event where we'll tell you how and why you can improve your workplace communications with visuals. Whether you are new to using visuals or are looking to build on your existing skills, we're here to help you level up. On October 5th, you'll walk away with the tools and knowledge to communicate more clearly and save you and your coworkers a lot of time. So join us to level up.
All
Loved
right.
it.
That's awesome. I love it. That's so great. So Ryan, thank you so much for spending some time with us here in the Visual Lounge, and thanks for I know you put in a ton of work so far in this, and there's, we've still got a ton more that by the time people are seeing this or watching this, we'll be close to the event. And I would say if you're watching or listening to this post October 5th, 2021, I'm sure there's still going to be content out there that you can find. We probably have lots of ways for you to access it if it's later.
We'll find ways to get out there and maybe even link it here for people seeing it. Matt, the one thing we didn't talk about that I do want to touch base on real quick is, I know people are thinking, is this for me in terms of my skill level? And that's one of the beautiful things about this title is Level Up. And that is, if you're at level 5, we'll get you to level 7 or 8, right? If you're at level 1, we're still here to help you. So there's going to be stuff that helps everybody. So don't think that this event isn't targeted at you because you don't know enough, or maybe you think you know too much. Maybe you do. Maybe you know more than us. But I would encourage you to at least register, check it out. Even if you're registering just to get the recordings, I would encourage you to do that so that you can really level up and get those nuggets of information.
Yeah, and I'd say if you know a lot about this topic, you probably know someone who doesn't. And feel free to share with them that opportunity, because then it's easier to work with them in the long run, right? I love it when my coworkers send me pictures and images and videos. It makes my life easier to consume that information, so it's great.
And that's part of why I do it, right? Is because I hope by me doing it more, I'll get more of them in return. It's a nice little reciprocal act.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Ryan Bort. We so appreciate you coming on, talking through all this stuff, the great ideas and thoughts you shared about digital communication in the workplace, but also talking through the event. This is super fantastic, and we always appreciate having you on the show and having you a part of part of being able to work with you. It's fantastic.
Always fun to be here.
All right. Well, as we wrap things up, thank you again. If you notice this was, if we're not responding in the chat as much, it's because guess what, guys? I was at an event and we had to do something, and this was perfect opportunity to share this with you. And we're so grateful for you all tuning in, whether you're listening again live to this or you're listening to the video or listening to the podcast. Before we wrap up, I just want to reiterate a couple things. October 5th, Level Up event. Go to techsmith.com/levelup. And if you have any thoughts for the show, things that you would like to see us talk about, how can we help you level up in addition to that event? You can always email us at thevisuallounge@techsmith.com. And of course, we always love it and are so appreciative if you do things like, subscribe, and share what you're learning from the show. So wherever you are, whatever level you're at, take a little time, spend to get a little bit better and level up every single day. And we'll see you next time.